يا حسين 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 يا حسين حسين.
Hurr ibn Yazeed al-Riyahi. How many of us have trouble forgiving people for hurting us, whether they be small mistakes or big ones? Imam Hussain forgave Hurr even when he was the reason they were screaming of thirst. How many of us can stand up for the oppressed, even when the oppressors are our own people? How many of us can let go of our ego and beg for forgiveness? Hurr is this man that exemplifies all these qualities. The world awaited Hurr. He had everything going for him in this life. He was the commander of a part of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad's army in Karbala. Everyone agreed that he was the most courageous person in Kufa. All agreed Hurr was noble. He lived up to his name, freedom. He was sent to stop Imam Hussain from passing. Hurr was met with hospitality. Imam Hussain ordered his troops to give Hurr and his troops and horses water. Hurr and his army even prayed behind Imam Hussain. Hurr reflected on what he was doing to the children of Fatima, and on the 10th of Muharram he made the ultimate decision to do what was right. There are two things that made Hurr change. He heard Umar ibn Sa'd say he was going to give his horses' hooves water because it was so hot. Hurr thought, if the horses are suffering, then how are the children dealing with this? The second thing that happened was that he heard Shamir say heads and hands will be cut off. Hurr then reflected on what he was doing and taking part of. He knew he had to make a decision between heaven and hell. Hurr went to the camp of Imam Hussain. Imam Hussain told Hurr not to worry, that he forgave him. Look at this beautiful gesture of our beloved Imam. He had every right to be angry and refuse Hurr, but instead he chose to forgive him. This should stand as a lesson for us all. Hurr ibn Yazeed al-Rahi was struck on the battlefield. The last thing he said was, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Imam went to Hurr and looked at him and said, Hurr, you are like your mother named you, free in this world and fear in the hereafter. Hurr's change of heart altered his destiny. He stood with the truth and went against the oppressors. Hurr is a role model for us all. When faced against decisions of our desires, we need to think of what brings us closer to Allah. The story of Imam Hussain has impacted me by teaching me bravery, selflessness, and forgiveness. Imam Hussain stood to protect the message of Islam, no matter the consequences. He welcomed all people and forgave the ones that oppressed him. Today the world can learn from Imam Hussain's bravery, how he stood up to the oppressors because he knew the outcome was far more important. Today we can serve Imam Hussain by standing up for injustices around the world. There are many that are oppressed and we need to stand with them against the oppressors for what is right, just as Imam Hussain did.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.